Dimitri grew up in Skala Sikimias, Lesvos. Aged 14, Dimitris felt and confessed to his parents that he was a woman, and his desire to now go by the name Dimitra. She described her mother as a deeply religious and faithful woman, and a source of true and selfless love for her child. Her father, however, was a short-tempered man who would disappear from the household from time to time, causing panic every time he would return. Despite this, the family stayed together and the parents remained married up until their deaths. From a young age, Dimitra felt different. Aged 14, and after expressing her belief of being a woman, she was sent to a mental institute. Doctors demanded she continue to take medication even after she would return home, and possibly for the remainder of her life. The medication made her feel terrible, and when she refused to take it, her parents began crushing it up and placing it in her food. She was a teenager when she first attempted suicide, one of many attempts throughout stages of her life. The closest anyone came to offer erotic attention to her was an elderly man who expressed his desire to rape her, terrifying Dimitra, and the man for years stalked her. Eventually, aged 20, Dimitra left her village and island for the country's capital, living homeless on the streets of Athens for 5 years. She worked a few jobs, mainly in supermarkets, but still, even in Athens, she felt judged and looked at differently. Having a family was her life's dream, something that she believed would complete her existence, giving her that forever love fairy tale she craved. When her mother became ill, she returned to Lesbos to care for her, as her siblings had by then escaped the volatile household, and her father was extremely unreliable. She lived and cared for her mother for the next 25 years, up until her death, which left her in pieces. Suicide was now to her the most attractive offer. However, it is then that she decides to do something she never dared before, to wear women's clothes. At first, it was just women's jeans and shorts, to gradually dressing up in dresses. She finally felt comfortable and a deep relief of feeling better and happier than she ever had before. For the first time, she felt complete. She focused on music and fashion, spending the little money she had on dresses and record albums. She adored Maria Callas and Greta Garbo. In 2015, when hundreds of boats with desperate migrants and refugees rocked up on the shores of Lesbos, the island was full of global press, and cameras caught a glimpse of a sad Dimitra in her trademark pink dress, and people took notice. Finally, some people took interest in her story and her difficult life. Journalists had Christmas dinner with her at her home, interviewing her in the process, making Dimitra a mini celebrity. This did not go down well with locals or authorities, who forcefully relocated Dimitra to Athens, and she was admitted to a psychiatric hospital. Prior to this, locals had hounded her on numerous occasions, and at one point assaulted her in her home and recorded it on their phones to later post on social media. On the 6th of April 2021, Dimitra went missing from the institute. Her disappearance was not reported on the Silver Alert system for 7 weeks, after being notified by her brother and the hospital, and after a bombardment of complaints. The directors admitted that police had not allowed the process to proceed. The process of posting the alert was also delayed due to a technicality with her official name, as she was not listed on records with the name Dimitra, but as Dimitris. Over 2 months later, it was discovered that Dimitra was dead. 3 days after escaping the institute, on the 9th of April 2021, Dimitra was murdered in an intentional hit and run in the area of Paliou, aged 64. After her death, she was buried as an unidentified person, and it was only by a recently conducted DNA test that the body belonged to Dimitri was confirmed. A suspect has been arrested for the murder and is currently awaiting trial after also confessing to the crime. At the time of writing, proceedings to relocate her body to the island of Lesvos are ongoing but delayed, as authorities have claimed it is a waste of time and resources, admitting difficulties in finding officers to assist who fear the humiliation with dealing as what they believe in their close-minded opinions, the laughingstocks of society. She has now been dubbed the Dimitri of Lesvos across social media, with a majority of younger Greek citizens rallying to get justice for her death and improve living conditions for transgender individuals across the country.